This is from Dawg Pound Daily. 3 reasons you shouldn't be shocked if Kevin Stefanski is fired. Browns aren't just losing, they're losing ugly. Number 2, the offense is still terrible. And number 3, the players are undisciplined. Although, you know what? All those are true. I can't argue with it. The question I have is, was he told, and this is going to go another thing, we're never going to know, was he told, you need to change the offense to maximize Deshaun Watson? If that was coming from Andrew Berry, Haslam, DePodesta, that's where you transfer this back to.
Yeah, for sure. When I look at those 3 reasons, the losing ugly, that's the most damning thing to me. Is when things have gotten truly out of hand to where you can't even compete because there's not winning games and there's not competing in games, and they've had the doors blown off of them in a couple now to where that's not been what's happened through Stefanski's tenure. They've lost plenty of games where they were in it and they weren't able to make the play at the end. Even early in the season, we had plenty of those games, 1-score games where you just weren't coming out on top. And that's the biggest variance in the NFL year to year is 1-score game wins or losses. Last year you were winning those games, this year you're losing them. But when you're getting blown out, that's ugly, and that creates a heavy environment in the locker room, and it's tough to have buy-in when that's happening. When you're going out and losing by 21 points as they did last week, it's tough to have player buy-in. I would push back on the word terrible for the offense. The offense has been terrible this year. As recently, I don't look at it as terrible. They need to be more efficient in certain areas, but you start to see where they're starting to grow. But the undisciplined part, that's something that also when we talk about things, if you want to make a list of things that are starting to be in that con bucket that are starting to outweigh the pros, undiscipline's one. On the Barking Browns the other night, Jacob Roach brought to the table where the Browns have ranked in penalties year over year under Stefanski, and it's top 10 almost every year. And there's different types of penalties. We didn't really break it down into subsets of pre-snap stuff. That's all mental, but it seems to happen a lot. And for me, that's what really gets me. I can take some effort penalties. Now there's boneheaded effort penalties that you can put in the mental bucket as well, where you just can't do that. But effort penalties aren't the same as going off sides, neutral zone infractions, offsides, not being lined up correctly to begin with, like illegal motions, like those things. And when you have enough things in that con bucket start to outweigh the pro, that's where the balance can shift right there. And if you, at the end of the day, you have enough of those things in that bucket, you can point to why you need to move on. I can't defend those things.